Have you ever looked at your plate and felt proud thinking you were finally doing everything right? More greens, fewer fries, more smoothies, less soda. All the things you were told would keep you young and strong. But then something strange happens. You wake up feeling bloated, your ankles are puffy, your energy just won't come back the way it used to. And there's this quiet fatigue that follows you from morning to night. You tell yourself it's normal, just part of getting older. But what if it isn't? What if those subtle signs are not aging but your kidneys crying for help? The truth is, your kidneys don't scream when they're in trouble. They whisper, and if you ignore the whispers long enough, they fall completely silent. Unlike your heart that races when it's under stress or your lungs that cough when they're irritated, your kidneys rarely warn you. They keep working in the background, filtering your blood 24 hours a day, cleaning toxins, balancing minerals, and keeping your body alive. But here's the terrifying reality: you can lose up to 90% of your kidney function before you ever feel a single symptom. By the time most people notice that something is wrong, the damage has already taken root. The swelling, the fatigue, the dizziness, those are not just random annoyances. They're alarm bells from an organ that's begging for relief. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and after more than 2 decades of working with patients across America, I've seen one truth that shocks nearly everyone. Most kidney damage doesn't come from fast food, alcohol, or even sugar. It comes from the very foods people believe are keeping them healthy: vegetables. Yes, the same vegetables you've been told to eat more of. But for aging kidneys, some of these so-called superfoods can quietly become poison, overloading your filtration system with minerals, acids, and compounds it can no longer process efficiently. Every day, millions of well-meaning Americans are unknowingly speeding up their kidney decline simply by trying to eat clean. But here's where hope returns. Once you understand which vegetables harm your kidneys and which ones heal them, everything changes. You can protect your kidneys naturally without pills, without expensive treatments, simply by knowing what to put and what not to put on your plate. So before you toss another handful of spinach into your smoothie or scoop that tomato sauce over your pasta, stay with me. Because what you'll discover in the next few minutes could save your kidneys, protect your heart, and maybe even add years to your life. Tomatoes have always been a symbol of healthy eating. Bright, tangy, and bursting with color, they sit proudly on salads and soups and inside every so-called heart-friendly sauce. But what few people realize is that for your kidneys, tomatoes can quietly turn from hero to hazard. The real danger isn't the fresh slice you add to your sandwich, but what happens when you turn that tomato into something concentrated like sauce, paste, or juice? When you concentrate flavor, you also concentrate minerals, especially potassium, and that's where trouble begins. Let me tell you about Robert, a 59-year-old retiree who believed he was eating perfectly clean. Every Sunday, he made his own tomato sauce from scratch. No preservatives, no sugar, just pure paste and olive oil. It seemed like the ideal healthy swap. But one serving of that sauce contained over 1,000 milligrams of potassium, nearly half the daily safe limit for anyone with reduced kidney function. Within months, he began to feel drained, dizzy, and strangely breathless. When his doctor ran tests, his potassium levels were dangerously high, throwing his heartbeat out of rhythm, a condition called hyperkalemia. The frightening truth: hyperkalemia can stop the heart without warning. Scientific studies confirm it. Once potassium builds up faster than your kidneys can remove it, it interferes with the electrical system that keeps your heart steady. At first, it causes mild fatigue or muscle weakness. But as levels climb, the heartbeat becomes erratic. That's why it's called the silent arrhythmia. You don't see it coming until it's almost too late. Robert didn't need to give up tomatoes. He just needed balance. By switching to fresh diced tomatoes, cutting portions to 2 tablespoons per meal, and using herbs like basil or parsley for flavor, his potassium normalized within weeks. His energy came back and his heart rhythm stabilized. So enjoy your pasta night. Just remember, even healthy foods can overload your kidneys when concentrated too far. But only knowing this isn't enough, because what comes next hides behind comfort and tradition, and it's sitting on nearly every American dinner table. For generations, potatoes have been the definition of comfort. Mashed, baked, fried, or roasted, they remind us of family dinners, holidays, and the warmth of home. But for your kidneys, that comfort can turn into quiet chaos. The reason is simple yet shocking. One medium-baked potato can contain nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium, and a cup of mashed sweet potatoes can reach even higher. That means a single serving could push you past your entire safe daily limit in one sitting, especially if your kidneys are already slowing down with age-high blood pressure or diabetes. I remember Linda, a 64-year-old grandmother who proudly gave up sugar and processed food. She thought she was eating clean when she loaded her Thanksgiving plate with mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and roasted red potatoes. Hours later, her potassium levels spiked so high that her heart rhythm became unstable. She was rushed to the ER, terrified as monitors beeped with every irregular heartbeat. The doctors called it acute hyperkalemia and told her she was lucky to be alive. Here's the science. When your kidneys weaken, potassium builds up in your blood instead of being filtered out. It interferes with the electrical signals that keep your heart beating in rhythm. At first, it just makes you tired or dizzy, but when levels rise too far, it can stop the heart altogether. There's a safer way to enjoy potatoes, though. It's called leaching, peeling, and cutting them into small pieces, soaking for hours, then boiling in fresh water. This removes up to 70% of the potassium. Still, portion control matters. Stick to about a quarter cup per meal and never combine multiple potato dishes at once, because even comfort foods can become silent killers if you ignore the details. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next health food hides in smoothie bars and gym bottles, and it can injure your kidneys from the inside out. Beets are everywhere in smoothies, detox juices, and pre-workout drinks. They're marketed as the miracle vegetable for stamina, blood flow, and heart health. And while that's partly true, what most people don't realize is that beets can quietly damage your kidneys if you're not careful. The same compounds that make them great for the heart can overload aging kidneys. Beets are packed with potassium and oxalates, two substances that can become toxic when the kidneys slow down. One glass of beet juice contains around 450 to 600 milligrams of potassium. That might sound harmless, but for someone over 60 or with even mild kidney decline, it's a heavy burden. The bigger threat, though, is oxalate. Inside your body, oxalates bind to calcium and form sharp microscopic crystals that lodge inside your kidneys like tiny glass splinters. They irritate tissue, block filtration, and trigger painful inflammation. David, a 48-year-old fitness trainer, learned this the hard way. He drank a tall glass of beet juice every morning, believing it was his secret to better workouts. For 3 weeks, he felt unstoppable until the fatigue, back pain, and cloudy urine began. Tests showed oxalate crystals clogging his kidneys, a condition called acute oxalate nephropathy. It took half a year for him to recover, and the first thing his doctor said was, "No more beet juice." Science supports this. When oxalate levels rise faster than the kidneys can excrete them, they combine with calcium and form stones, damaging the delicate nephron filters. Cooking beets reduces oxalates slightly, but juicing or powdering multiplies their concentration several times over. If you love beets, enjoy them occasionally and pair them with calcium-rich foods like yogurt or cheese to block oxalate absorption. But skip the beet powders and detox shots. They're not cleaning your body, they're overloading it. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable looks sweet and harmless, yet it can bring your kidneys to a halt almost overnight. At first glance, rhubarb looks innocent, those shiny red stalks, that sweet tart flavor that turns pies and jams into family favorites. But behind that cheerful color hides one of the most dangerous plants for your kidneys. Rhubarb isn't just high in oxalates, it's loaded with them. A single cup of diced stalks can contain more than 1,000 milligrams of oxalates, over 20 times what a weakened kidney can safely handle in a single day. For people with even mild kidney decline, that's like pouring acid on an open wound. Take Sarah, a 56-year-old teacher who loved baking. Every spring, she'd bring her famous rhubarb crisp to family gatherings, sweet, golden, and bubbling with nostalgia. One weekend, after attending 3 parties back-to-back, she started feeling sharp pain in her lower back, nausea, and couldn't urinate properly. At the hospital, her blood work showed her kidney function had collapsed. Microscopic oxalate crystals had blocked her nephrons like sand clogging a water filter. The diagnosis, acute oxalate nephropathy. Her kidneys were shutting down. Sarah spent weeks on temporary dialysis before she slowly recovered. Her doctor's final advice was firm: no more rhubarb ever. Here's the science. When oxalates enter your bloodstream, they bind to calcium, forming tiny crystals that act like needles inside your kidneys. These crystals irritate tissue, trigger inflammation, and can completely block filtration when they cluster together. Cooking or baking rhubarb doesn't make it safer. It actually concentrates oxalates per bite. That means even a few spoonfuls of jam or pie filling can push your kidneys past their limit. If you love that tangy flavor, there's a safer way. Swap rhubarb for kidney-friendly fruits like apples, berries, or cranberries. They offer the same refreshing acidity without the hidden risk. So next time you see a glowing slice of rhubarb pie, remember Sarah's story, because one healthy dessert could cost your kidneys their future. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable attacks from two sides at once, and its danger is hiding behind a green, innocent smile. Swiss chard wears a halo of health. With its glossy green leaves and rainbow-colored stems, it looks like the ultimate superfood, the kind of vegetable you'd see in wellness magazines or smoothie bowls on Instagram. But for your kidneys, Swiss chard is a silent overload, delivering a double hit that most people never see coming. It's one of the few vegetables dangerously high in both potassium and oxalates, two stressors that can overwhelm even healthy kidneys and especially aging ones. A single cup of cooked Swiss chard packs nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium and more than 200 milligrams of oxalates. That's almost the same potassium as a baked potato, plus the oxalate load of spinach all in one bite. For someone with weakened kidney function, that's like asking a runner with a sprained ankle to sprint uphill while carrying weights. The kidneys have to filter excess potassium to keep the heartbeat stable while simultaneously clearing oxalates to prevent crystal buildup, an impossible balancing act. Michael, a 62-year-old retiree, learned this the hard way. After his doctor warned him about cholesterol, he switched to a strict plant-based diet filled with greens, especially Swiss chard sautéed with olive oil and garlic every day. He was proud of his new heart-healthy meals, but within 2 months, his lab results told another story. His potassium had skyrocketed, and an ultrasound revealed his first kidney stone. The very vegetable he believed was saving him was overloading him from both sides. Here's the science. Excess potassium disrupts the heart's electrical rhythm, while oxalates form crystals that can block urine flow and scar kidney tissue. Boiling can remove some oxalates, but the potassium largely remains, and juicing makes it even worse, condensing both into one glass. The solution? Rotate your greens. Swap Swiss chard for safer choices like cabbage, kale, or lettuce. Don't assume more greens mean more health, because sometimes too much of a good thing can quietly become your biggest threat. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable is praised as a global superfood. Yet for your kidneys, it's the most deceptive of all. Spinach has been crowned the king of greens for decades. It's low in calories, rich in vitamins, and praised by nearly every nutrition expert on the planet. From smoothies to salads, it's the go-to vegetable for anyone trying to eat clean. But here's the shocking truth: for your kidneys, spinach can be one of the most dangerous foods on your plate. What makes it so powerful for health is the very thing that makes it harmful for kidney function: its sky-high oxalate content. Just 100 grams of raw spinach can contain around 170 milligrams of oxalates, nearly 20 times more than a kidney can safely handle in a single day. Most people don't stop at that. When they blend spinach into a green smoothie, they're not eating a handful, they're drinking the equivalent of 3 or 4 cups in one sitting. That means more than 2,000 milligrams of oxalates flooding straight into the bloodstream. Once inside, those oxalates bind with calcium to form razor-sharp crystals that scrape through kidney tissue, damaging the tiny filtration tubules that keep your blood clean. Over time, these microscopic injuries build up, leading to kidney stones, chronic inflammation, and in severe cases, kidney failure. Jennifer, a 34-year-old yoga instructor, thought she was doing everything right. For 6 weeks, she drank a spinach smoothie every morning. Her skin glowed, her energy soared until fatigue and back pain crept in. When doctors tested her blood, her kidneys were full of oxalate crystals. The diagnosis was acute oxalate nephropathy. Her kidneys were literally clogged by the vegetable she thought was healing her. It took months of recovery and lifestyle changes to reverse the damage. Science confirms what Jennifer learned the hard way. Cooking spinach can reduce some oxalates, but not nearly enough to make it safe in large amounts. The smarter choice is diversity mix. Your greens rotate with kale, lettuce, or cabbage and give your kidneys a break. Because your body doesn't need a detox, it needs relief. But only knowing this isn't enough, because while these vegetables can silently sabotage your kidneys, The next ones I'll show you can actually heal and protect them naturally, powerfully, and for life. After hearing about so many healthy foods that can quietly destroy kidney function, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, even a little afraid to eat. But here's the truth. Not every vegetable is the enemy. The same kitchen that holds foods capable of harming your kidneys also holds the power to heal them. Your body isn't fragile, it's responsive. When you give it the right support, it knows how to repair, rebuild, and restore balance. And that's the hope I want you to hold on to right now. Because the next part of this journey isn't about restriction, it's about protection. It's about discovering the foods that help your kidneys filter more efficiently, calm inflammation, and bring your energy back. So take a breath, because we're about to shift from warning to healing, starting with one of the most underestimated vegetables that acts like a natural cleanser for your kidneys. After learning how easily certain vegetables can overwhelm your kidneys, it's time to talk about the quiet hero that does the opposite: cauliflower. It doesn't scream for attention with bright colors or bold flavors, but its healing power is extraordinary. Cauliflower is one of the most kidney-friendly vegetables you can eat, and it works like a gentle detox system that never exhausts your body. Unlike spinach or potatoes, it's naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and oxalates, the exact combination your kidneys need to recover and function properly. 1 cup of cooked cauliflower contains only about 88 milligrams of potassium and just 20 milligrams of phosphorus, which is almost nothing compared to the thousands hiding in those high-risk vegetables. I remember Margaret, a 67-year-old retired nurse, who came to me completely discouraged. Her creatinine levels were rising, her legs were swollen, and she feared dialysis was only months away. Instead of adding new medications, we focused on her plate. She swapped her nightly mashed potatoes for creamy cauliflower mash, blended with a little olive oil and garlic. Within 6 weeks, her potassium levels stabilized, her creatinine dropped, and her morning swelling disappeared. She told me, for the first time in years, I wake up and feel light again. The science supports her recovery. Cauliflower belongs to the cruciferous family, rich in compounds like sulforaphane and glucosinolates that lower inflammation and activate detox enzymes in the liver and kidneys. These natural compounds neutralize oxidative stress, one of the main causes of kidney cell damage. Think of cauliflower as a soft cushion for your filtration system, nourishing, protective, and easy to digest. You can mash it, roast it, or steam it. Whichever way you choose, it supports your kidneys instead of straining them. Healing doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as a single swap. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable doesn't just protect your kidneys, it also shields your heart and blood vessels from silent damage. After hearing about foods that silently strain your kidneys, it's time to focus on one that does the exact opposite. Cauliflower may look plain and unassuming, but it's one of the most powerful kidney-healing vegetables on earth. It acts like a natural purifier, cleansing, cooling, and supporting your filtration system without adding extra stress. Unlike spinach, potatoes, or Swiss chard, cauliflower is low in potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and oxalates, the very combination your kidneys crave to recover. 1 cup of cooked cauliflower holds only about 88 milligrams of potassium and 20 milligrams of phosphorus, practically nothing compared to the 1,000+ found in high-risk vegetables. I remember Margaret, a 67-year-old retired nurse, who came to me terrified. Her creatinine levels were climbing, her energy fading, and she feared dialysis was near. Instead of medication changes, we started simple. She replaced her nightly mashed potatoes with creamy cauliflower mash mixed with olive oil and garlic. 6 weeks later, her potassium stabilized, her swelling subsided, and her mornings finally felt light again. "Doctor," she said, "for the first time in years, I feel normal." Science backs her recovery. Cauliflower belongs to the cruciferous family, rich in sulforaphane and glucosinolates, compounds that calm inflammation and activate detox enzymes in both the liver and kidneys. These nutrients help neutralize oxidative stress, one of the biggest drivers of kidney damage. You can roast it, steam it, mash it, or even rice it. Every version gives your kidneys the rest they deserve. Healing doesn't require expensive cleanses or fancy diets. Sometimes it's as simple as swapping one vegetable for another. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable doesn't just heal your kidneys, it protects your heart and blood vessels at the same time. After learning how cauliflower gently cleanses your kidneys, let's add a splash of color to your plate with a food that does even more. Red bell peppers aren't just beautiful, they're one of the most powerful protectors for both your kidneys and your heart. Low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, but packed with antioxidants, red peppers are like bright armor against inflammation and oxidative stress. The two silent destroyers of kidney tissue. 1 cup of chopped red pepper delivers more than 150% of your daily vitamin C, yet less than 250 milligrams of potassium, making it the perfect combination of healing and safety. George, a 61-year-old patient of mine, proved how simple swaps can save lives. He suffered from stage 3 chronic kidney disease and high blood pressure. For years, he loaded every meal with tomato sauce thinking it was healthy. Once we replaced that habit with diced red bell peppers, roasted, sautéed, or added to soups, everything changed. Within weeks, his potassium dropped, his blood pressure fell by 10 points, and his energy returned. Doctor, he told me, I finally enjoy food again without fear. Science explains why. The antioxidants in red peppers, especially lycopene and quercetin, reduce vessel inflammation, improve blood flow, and strengthen kidney filtration. Their natural sweetness also makes them the perfect substitute for salty condiments or sauces that damage kidneys over time. Simple, colorful, and full of life, red bell peppers prove that healing can be delicious. Every bite isn't just nourishment, it's protection. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next ingredient doesn't just flavor your food, it actively trains your kidneys to fight inflammation and rebuild strength from within. After exploring how red bell peppers guard your kidneys and heart, it's time to look at something smaller but even more powerful. Garlic, a tiny clove with a sharp aroma, has been used for thousands of years to purify the blood and strengthen the body. What ancient healers knew instinctively, modern science has now confirmed. Garlic is one of nature's most effective protectors against kidney damage. Its secret lies in allicin, a sulfur compound released when garlic is crushed or chopped. Allicin acts as a natural anti-inflammatory antioxidant and mild blood thinner, protecting your kidneys from 3 of their biggest threats: high blood pressure, oxidative stress, and chronic inflammation. Patricia, a 60-year-old woman with stage 3 kidney disease, had struggled for years with uncontrolled blood pressure. When she began adding 2 crushed cloves of garlic to her meals every day, letting them rest for 10 minutes before cooking to activate the allicin, her body responded in ways even her doctor didn't expect. In just 3 months, her blood pressure dropped from 150/95 to 135/85, her swelling reduced, and her energy returned. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like my body is finally breathing again." Scientific studies published in the Journal of Hypertension and the American Journal of Nephrology support what Patricia experienced. Regular garlic intake can lower systolic blood pressure by up to 15 points, reduce inflammation markers, and protect kidney cells from oxidative damage. The best part, garlic brings deep flavor without the salt helping you heal while you eat. So the next time you reach for a seasoning, choose garlic and let your food become your medicine. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the final vegetable doesn't just protect your kidneys, it teaches them how to defend themselves naturally from future harm. After garlic's powerful healing touch, let's move to a vegetable that goes one step further. It doesn't just protect your kidneys, it helps them protect themselves. That humble, affordable hero is cabbage. Most people see it as a simple side dish, but inside those pale green leaves hides one of the strongest natural defense systems for kidney health. Cabbage is incredibly low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, which means it gives your kidneys the nutrients they need without adding to their workload. But its real magic lies in a compound called sulforaphane, a natural chemical that activates your body's built-in protection, switch the NRF2 pathway. When this pathway turns on, your cells begin producing their own antioxidants and detox enzymes, powerful defenders that neutralize toxins before they can damage your kidneys. It's like teaching your body how to clean and repair itself. George, a 63-year-old retired bus driver, was one of my favorite examples. Years of long hours and processed meals left him with chronic inflammation and declining kidney function. Instead of overwhelming him with restrictions, we added small servings of steamed cabbage 3 times a week in soup, stir-fries, or simply sautéed with olive oil and garlic. Within a few months, his energy improved, his swelling disappeared, and his kidney test numbers started to climb back toward normal. Science confirms his story. Research from the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology shows that sulforaphane-rich vegetables like cabbage reduce oxidative stress and can slow kidney decline. Its high fiber also helps your gut eliminate toxins, naturally taking pressure off your kidneys. So the next time you see cabbage, don't overlook it. This humble green is your body's own built-in armor. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's still one massive myth to expose the detox trend that's secretly doing more harm to your kidneys than anyone realizes. You've just discovered the truth that most people never hear, that not every vegetable heals and not every healthy habit is truly safe for your kidneys. But here's the good news. Awareness is power, and power brings protection. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't have to give up the foods you love. You simply need to understand your body, listen to the signals it gives, and make smarter swaps one day at a time. Every choice, every meal can be a message of healing to your kidneys. If you've watched this far, it means you care deeply about your health, and that already puts you ahead of millions who still don't know what's harming them. So take this as your reminder. Progress, not perfection, is what saves lives. Start small. Replace one risky vegetable with a healing one. Trade tomato sauce for roasted red peppers, mashed potatoes for creamy cauliflower, or salt for crushed garlic. Tiny steps today can protect your kidneys for years to come. And before you go do something kind for your future self, save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need guidance. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss the latest science-backed kidney care tips, natural remedies, and doctor-approved habits for lifelong health. Remember, your kidneys may be silent, but they're always listening. Treat them with care, nourish them with knowledge, and they'll reward you with years of strength and balance. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and I want you to know healing isn't about fear. It's about awareness, hope, and action. Stay curious, stay consistent, and most importantly, stay kind to the body that's working every second to keep you alive.